In this video, I discuss 5 reasons why you should own your home versus rent in retirement. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
Last week, I published a video entitled 5 Reasons to Rent versus Own in Retirement. It's always important when I publish a video that I provide the users with options, things for them to consider and either integrate or not into their own lives depending on their personal situations. So in this video I said, there's a lot of financial information out there that suggests that retirees should own their home in retirement. And in many instances this is correct, but not always. I published the video and I didn't think much more of it, given the fact that I had highlighted that renting wasn't for many people, but for a certain subset of retirees it made perfect sense. The vast majority of the comments were supportive. Some said I gave them something to think about, others thought that the video was good, but maybe for their own situations it wasn't appropriate for them. But a few were, how shall we say, unhappy. A few commenters were quite direct and they said that under no circumstances should a retiree ever rent. Others indicated that for most retirees it wouldn't apply, and still others indicated other things that really didn't apply to the video at all. Still, I felt that it was important to publish the other side of the discussion, and so this video we're putting out is entitled 5 Reasons to Own a Home in Retirement versus Rent. And by the way, for those that didn't watch the video, I will include a link at the end to that video, but just for your own benefit, the video highlighted lifestyle as a reason to not own. Traveling, proximity to family that may have moved away, etc. So let me make the comment that I made at the beginning of the last video again here, but in reverse. The decision to own may be right for a lot of people, but certainly it's not right for everybody. Having said that, let's jump into it, but before we do, please make sure you click subscribe and notifications so that you get alerted the next time I post a video. I post about twice a week. Stick around to the end because point number 1 is one that most people don't think about, but it's actually quite important, maybe even the most important of all of the 5 in many circumstances. All right, let's get into it. Point number 5 is the stability of your cash flow. Unfortunately, over 50% of retirees have debt when they go into retirement, and mortgage debt is a big component of that. So if you have a mortgage payment, at least you know that that payment won't change in most circumstances. The other side, or the additional point to make, is that your taxes are unlikely to change much anyway over the course of your time in that home. Point number 4 is location stability. When a retiree leaves the workforce, they leave a lot of things behind. They leave their work friends, they leave their contacts, their network, not to mention the loss of a daily routine, getting up in the morning, going to work, coming home at night, having your dinner at the same time every evening, most of the time, etc. There are a lot of things that the retiree leaves behind, and so minimizing change in a retiree's life is often good for their mental health. Point number 3 is that owning a home in retirement means that you have forced savings, especially if you have a mortgage. When you make a payment on your mortgage, a portion goes to interest and the other portion goes to principal. The longer you stay in the home, the more principal gets paid down and the less interest gets paid. So by staying in a owned home that has a fixed monthly payment, you are forcing yourself to save money over the long term, at least build equity in the home, and that in turn becomes something of value when you sell the home at a later point in your life. At the very least, the equity in your home becomes a nice gift to your children or your estate when your times come. Point number 2 I call Grand Central Station. The home, your home, for those of you that are looking at this from the perspective of a retiree, is often the place where everybody gathers. Grand Central Station. Dinners on Sunday night, for example, or birthday parties for family members. The matriarch or the patriarch of the family, depending on who's watching this video, is more often than not the place people go when they're looking for a place to go. When I was a kid, I remember Grandma's house quite vividly. Every summer we'd make the trek to her hometown. We lived out of town. All of the cousins, uncles, aunts, etc. would get together, and it became the reason that they all got together. My guess is that you and your family experienced something very similar. And the number one point, in my humble view, is a place for displaced family. Let me explain. The world is a much different place today than it was during our parents' or our grandparents' era. Kids get married, they get divorced, they lose their jobs. They need a place of safety at points in their life, and having a home, a bigger home, offers that safety for the displaced family. And this generation is living at home longer. They have other reasons for coming home. Sometimes they are in transition from one house to another. Sometimes they just need the TLC of mom and dad. Having a home available to them is a very good reason to, or one good reason anyway, to own versus renting something smaller. This is a big decision, of course. The decision to own versus rent has both financial and non-financial consequences, and it's something you need to give a lot of thought to before you move forward. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of me, please make sure you click subscribe and notifications so that you get alerted the next time I post a video. Retirement information is changing fast, and I work very hard to get what's out there in here for you. Also, as I mentioned at the beginning, check out this video on 5 reasons to rent versus own in retirement. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.